Well, hi, everybody. My name is
Oh
Joe,
my gosh, we already introduced it. My name is Kristen.
and we are excited to be with you guys this afternoon. Thank you so much for spending a portion of your afternoon with us. The fact that you're here with us this late in the day after the whole morning, it means the world to
Things
us.
earlier for them.
Only by an hour.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
But anyways, we're just extremely grateful that you guys chose to be here with us. So we're going to keep it light. So if there's anything that we're doing along the way you are very curious about in the chat, please, by all means, let us know. We're going to keep an eye on it. This is the first time we've ever done this session virtually.
Yeah, this is gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit interesting. But hopefully, by the time that you are done with this, you'll have seen how you can go about building a unit with some of these different online tools. And if you're thinking to yourself, like, this is something that I think I'd like to try this coming school year, but then maybe you get to a hurdle or you got some questions later on down the line, please reach out to us and let us know. We're happy to help you guys out. And yeah, I mean, we're teachers in it too, so we'd love to see what you're doing with the ideas.
Yeah, so the brainchild behind this session was that we would always go to conferences and, do like our session was this morning and roll through all these slides. And then there would always be people afterwards that would say, like, they'd ask a question that ended up with one of us sitting down with our own computers out, with our own platforms open, and modeling something that we use every day, and just more of the, well, like, how'd you do that or how'd that work? And so I had this funny idea. I was like, I could build a whole unit using like Chat GPT and AI and things like that, or build it using my content curriculum that I have that I need to incorporate, but reinvent how it's done. And so when we did this session at ISTE, we did it completely live with people in the room. And we just went through kind of the format of what we felt was a pretty kind of generic way to go through a unit or a lesson. I will say those words are kind of interchangeable. I'm not a complete like day by day by day lesson. Like I kind of create a unit and I have an idea of how many days that unit's going to take, but sometimes they bleed into each other. So for this session, I mean, the word unit planning is probably a more relatable because it's creating lessons and things that you would do over a course of a certain amount of time. It's not something like you're going to fit into a 45-minute block. But if we are going to share this template with you, and I don't know why, but like menu diner kind of came into mind when we started building this
It it
presentation.
worked out well with the tastes and secret sauce.
Yeah, it
So
did. So it's a menu. So you can use
yeah.
this is on our blog. There's a link there. It is case sensitive. You can take a picture of this. You can grab it by, the QR code, share it with everyone, but it's going to take you to a template that we created that kind of models through some of these apps and where they could land.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to open that up? Sorry, I was
Yeah,
just dropping into the chat for
sorry.
you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
So it looks like this.
So a lot of times people like there are so many apps that can be used different ways depending on where they fall within your instruction. And so again, like we did not put every single app that there is. We didn't even come close to it. But we did put a lot of the ones that we talk about a lot and use a lot. And then we tried to put them where we thought. So if you can kind of get behind the whole like we just got lunch, like diner menu kind of idea, and think about that as a unit, like your appetizers, kind of like where you're introducing your standards and you're sparking your students' engagement and they're learning about whatever this topic is or skill they're going to do. And then you're going to have kind of like your main course where you're going to deliver all your content. You might have a little bit more lecture in there, or you may have more direct instruction as you're delivering. It could be textbook reading, that kind of stuff. And then you're going to throw in like a side dish, like where your students are going to practice and demonstrate their learning. Maybe it's not a full assessment yet. We're just working with that information. You could have like a little, chef special where maybe the students get to actively engage a little bit more with it now that they've are days into that content, they're more comfortable. And then I think it's funny that I'm looking at it like the dessert is like our assessment because most people wouldn't think of like a test as a dessert.
Those are pretty sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, but we really like assessments that are demonstrations of learning, which tend to actually be really fun kind of projects or student-centered activities. And no, they don't all have to take like a whole week. Like sometimes you can do them with even within one class period. So that was kind of like our broad way when you think of a unit, the way you're going to be teaching and having your students do things, and then where some of these apps, you'll notice like some of these apps fall in almost every single category because they allow a lot you to do a lot. And then there's some like Gamma, for instance, that we're going to show you that Really, it's kind of a direct instruction kind of app. And so we're going to walk you through how we do things. If you, I mean, you're obviously on a computer, you're watching us, but if you want to like open a tab and go into that platform or play around with it, or, sometimes that helps, but you also can just watch. And
I just realized that you said we were going to do Gamma, but I don't have that open on.
and you also don't have Chat GPT
And
open.
yeah, and
So
so that's going to be interesting.
it's okay. You're gonna have to open it as we go. And that's how I did it the first time. I just started opening things and letting you guys see the exact process of how you go in and do it from the very beginning. It's not as polished, but I think that's how we learn the best, right?
Yeah. All right. So where do you want to start?
Okay, so first I have to start with what I'm going to teach. So I mentioned in our session before that I hate when people tell me things are fluffy. And so I didn't want to do like a little picture book, or I want to do something that I've honestly taught. And so I thought, like, let's go Telltale Heart, Edgar Allan Poe. That's something I do with my 7th graders. We do a whole unit on Poe, and that's hard. It's hard for them, but it's also cool and intriguing. So we're going Edgar Allan Poe.
Full force.
We're going full force into something kind of hard. So I will show you at the beginning. I did just gather some materials. Now, some of these are just because I'm doing this virtually and I need you to be able to see it, and we need to be able to access it. You may also have a textbook that have the book, but here's a website. This is actually just go back to the top. The poem. And then I also have here opened like a PDF of it in case any of the platforms that I choose to put in it need the PDF version of it. And then
The video?
that's a video. I don't think we'll end up using it, but it was like a read aloud. And so it had like music. And so when I start planning, like that's kind of where I started. And then you have to have like an objective. You have to have a standard or something that you're going to work with. And so I believe ours, you don't have to go, it's like analyzing the theme, and we have it in a document, but he's got it pasted. So let's think about where I would start as a teacher if I'm in that appetizer kind of place. Especially if I'm doing something like Poe, my students, it's gonna be hard for them to jump right in. So I would probably want to like do a hook or some kind of delivery. So let's do like Mentimeter, because I'm really into forward-facing kind of things. And if you've never heard of Mentimeter, that's what this little fun little icon is. It's like a polling app. So you can use it as little or as much as you want. You can import presentations into here if you already had something that maybe your district created or needed you to use, or that you just want to start with. You can start straight from AI, or you can start a brand new Menti. Let's try start with AI. Let's put our learning standard in. Let's see what they can do. Now, some of these things, you gotta click it. Do you not have it?
I'm logged in as us, so
Oh,
should
maybe you have to upgrade for it. Oh, there we go. Let's see.
try it again now.
So let's click it and see what it does. Okay, so paste in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I had copied it.
I had him all ready, and then he had to open up. So I'm going to start in with like my analyze, the impact of the actual standard and thing that I want. Here is my standard. Now, people made fun of me the first time we did this. You don't have this problem. I talk to the AI like it's a person. So I'm like, if you could, would you please do that? I like have emotion in my when I prompt, and then just type it. So let's do it. Here's my standard. I'm going to analyze the impact of setting on character development.
What was that? Oh, sorry. Did we miss somebody? Did somebody ask a question? Okay, sorry. I think someone just came out.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Makes me
well, if you can't see our screen or something stops, like we're going blind. We got 2 screens, but we can't always see you, and so please speak up. Or if you have a question, it really doesn't bother me. So here's my standard. I'm going to give up my standard, but then I'm also need to tell the platform what I'm aiming to do. So my aim here is really to start with questions that get students thinking about who Poe is, or maybe some, like some kind of, we'll see how good their AI is. Some kind of like, I want big questions that maybe don't have right answers, ones that are kind of controversial.
Almost there. Okay. Sorry. Literary text.
I don't know. This might be too much. Now, no. You're not done yet. Okay. So now let's tell it, say, I would like to spark a conversation with my 7th grade students on topics related to the Telltale Heart.
Telltale Heart?
Sure. That might, I was going to say controversial, but then I don't know if I want AI to do that. Might be. So before we read the poem, let's just say that. So go out, take out that in mind and say, before we read the poem. Let's see what it does.
Good.
Now, yeah, go push submit. The quality of what something makes is only as good as your prompt. And so sometimes my prompts aren't great. But let's see what it says. Ah, now look what it did. It kind of like changed what my like garbage was and remade it nicer. So create a workshop to engage my 7th grade students in discussion about the themes and elements of the poem before reading the text. So it knows that they haven't read it. The session will focus on analyzing the impact. Okay, go, let's do it. They made that sound really nice.
I think that was actually what I typed.
Oh yeah.
It just, yeah, it took out the end, the space, extra space that you put in.
Do light, please. I don't want to be dark mode.
Okay.
I knew you would pick dark mode, and I don't like dark mode. Now, what's really nice about Menti and like anything else that usually uses AI is that you can edit it. So like if questions come in that I don't like, I can take them out before I present with my class. But then what happens is the kids use a device, it gives them a code, and as I go through the questions, they can interact, and it's going to show live on the screen what they're thinking. Okay, so let's see. Welcome to. Yeah, start editing. I want to jump right into the questions because as you can see, those symbols mean there's different types of questions. So what comes to your mind when you think of Edgar Allan Poe? Well, if the kids have never heard of him, this may or may not be a good question. I could say, change it to what does your mind think when you hear a blank, hear poetry even, or hear, suspense. And then let's go down to what else it gives me. Rank the following elements based on their importance of storytelling, character, setting, development, plot, narrative. This is a great one. This is one of their 100% questions where you get like 100 points and the kids can like rank them based, I think this is the 100-point one, where they can give like a certain amount of points to each one. And then it'll create a ranking live as it's working in class. And then you can talk about it and discuss. Let's give what else. What do you think the setting of a story can tell us about the characters? Love it. I would use that one. What questions do you have about the narrator? I don't know if I would put that one in yet because I don't know that he's crazy. What type of narrator do you think is most interesting to read about? That's cool because they can talk about the types of perspectives. Plus, it's good spiral review.
And you notice how these are all, the formats of these are all changing automatically too, which is pretty neat. Like that one was a bar graph. This one, it looks like it's like some kind of line plot.
So when you type in actual answers, sometimes you only type in one word. You can also set, this is the 100-point one. You can also set it to where they can only respond once, or you can ask like on the word cloud ones, they can put in like up to 3. So your word cloud will be more dismissed. So like this is something that's pretty easy to set up. Obviously you could go in and start from scratch or do whatever you want. But if I'm just looking to have a quick, intriguing kind of activity, I like Mentimeter. It's student facing, get some work in.
So how do students get onto this then?
So then they would have a code, a link that you would go and then you type in your code. You can also do a QR code, but a lot of schools don't have phones. So you'll probably do the link.
Yeah, so here's the participation link. So you copy this link and you can share that out. They can also go to menti.com. And once you do publish this, it'll give you a code. And then the kids can just log in with the code and then they can access it.
So that's just an easy way to kind of in our menu kind of have an appetizer, get students thinking. So now I've got to create, oh man, let's see what apps. I've got to actually do the poem or the story, it's not a poem, with the students. And there's a lot of ways you could start this. Let's go. Okay, this is gonna be, I'll do the controversial one first. Let's go to Magic School. And let's ask it to create us 5 questions around shifting point of view, unreliable characters. Maybe because I like to give my students things to look for when they're reading. So oh wow, is our screen just bigger? Or do they change my? I'm looking for create comprehension questions.
Okay, so here we can just search for it.
So as you guys can see, Magic School does a lot of things. Nope, I wouldn't search it. I would just look through the words.
Okay.
Yep. So when you see it, click it. Text dependent questions. See how that started. You can also do DOK questions, like if your district does like depths of knowledge. So let's do 7th grade. I always do 5 because I like sometimes don't like all of them, and so then I don't have to regenerate. And I think let's type in comprehension. I think for the most part, and I would type in comma, and then I would write shifting point of view, unreliable characters, impact of setting on plot. I put all 3 of those just in there so it knows that like I want comprehension questions, but I don't want like.
I think I know why it's doing this now. Hold on one second. It's because this is on. Let's see. Oh, it's not like
just type it in.
Type it in. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Shifting.
Now underneath you can see that there's a text that you are going to have to put in. That's why I have the web-based up. Not because I don't necessarily have it on a book or somewhere else that the students will be reading from, but I need it to have this platform help me read through it.
Okay.
So you're going to, obviously, you gotta go to the website and copy the story and then drop it in.
This one?
Yeah.
Or you want PDF?
I don't know. I don't know if the PDF is going to copyright. I would just use blood.
Just do this one?
Yeah, and come down here. Nope. All the way down. Start there.
Sorry.
Yep.
Just the one paragraph?
They'll start here, all the way down, the whole story.
See, that's
you can tell he doesn't teach 7th grade. He has no idea how long the story is, what it is. Actually, all the way down.
No, that's just the difference between you and I, because I always start from the bottom and I work my way up.
You could do that. Perfect.
Let's see. Come back there.
And I thought at first I was like, oh, now if you did have it as PDF downloaded, you could have put it up there if you wanted.
Are you serious? I could have just uploaded that PDF, Kristin.
Well, you don't have it there. Just push generate.
All right.
Let's see what it brings us today. How does the narrator describe his mental state at the beginning? Okay. How does the narrator's perspective of his action? What are you doing? Go back up. Oh, it's giving the answer key. In what ways did the narrator attempt to convince the reader of his sanity? That's really good because and I told it an unreliable character is something I want to teach. And that's a very hard concept for students to understand. These are looking pretty good. And so now I've got some questions. I can do whatever I want with the teacher as them. I can put them on a piece of paper that they have to find. I could color code them and have students highlight the evidence on different, I mean, everyone has their own style, but now at least I have kind of a game point of where I'm going. And the answer key, I will say, in Magic School is not like great, but at least it gives you something if you are dealing with something you're more unfamiliar with. But I tend not to use the answer keys as much because I kind of already know what I will highlight or do with them. Comprehension analysis. What's significance of the heartbeat that the narrator hears at the end? That's really cool. So now imagine if I were just to put those questions up and we haven't even read yet, and I say, this is what we're going to be reading about. And they're like, heartbeat at the end? Like, they're going to be super engaged because how often you get to read about a crazy guy, maybe, you know, killing somebody. Like, it's kind of cool. Like, you can kind of cue them in, and I've got my questions, which I could use later. Now, Magic School will do the next thing, but I'm not going to say that I would maybe use it for this activity. But Magic School does have something called a text rewriter, where if you don't want to lose this page though. So maybe click her new tab. If you are reading something, let's say in a science textbook or even like a history textbook, and you think the text might be too hard for them, it will dumb it down. Now,
could we use Brisk for that?
We could also use School because we're here. But what I'm saying is, sometimes I've done it, guys. Like sometimes if you're reading Shakespeare or if I'm reading something hard, I don't usually use those like Cliff Note, No Fear books. I read the whole thing. But sometimes it's nice as a teacher, even to like throw something in like a text rewriter and then be able to like read it yourself to give them like an easy summary. Or you could even go to chat and be like, I want you to rewrite this in like modern day slang, right? Like I want this to be written in an easier way. And it's just, again, another fun way to kind of like get the kids into it doing. It's also a great accommodation if you have students who do read at a much lower reading level to maybe give them that night after you've dealt with it. Be like, here, I want you to read this again. It's not the exact words that Poe wrote, but it is going to give you the gist of the story so that you can at least understand what the story is about before you come back and we continue working on it. Now,
that's what you want?
You could, but it's okay. We just talk through it. It's not a big deal. I just want them to know that like it is available and it's here, and it's just very controversial when you're doing it on like classic literature. Like you don't really want to like level The Great Gatsby, right? That's the purpose of reading it. But it is there if you're doing something in a 5th grade science classroom that just might be too hard. It does have the ability to kind of do that. But since we're talking about Telltale Heart, like it's gonna do it for the Telltale Heart. So
oh, I didn't change it. I should have leveled it. I forgot to change the grade level.
Oh, it's okay.
Redoing it for 7th grade, so.
But it's okay. So you know it's there, and when you're thinking of how you're delivering your content. Now, Canva does have the ability to create slide decks and things like that, but it's not my favorite. I actually want to show Gamma. And Gamma is a website. It is free. I ended up paying for it this last year because I did so many history lectures. Yes, I think they changed their logo. It was worth it to me to have it because I need it. But you can use it for free. And what Gamma does is it will create presentations for you based on content. So if I'm teaching Telltale Heart and I need to teach about Poe and unreliable narratives, you got to learn about Poe because you just got to learn who he was and as a person too. And so when you go into generate, I could like give it a prompt. I could give it an outline. Like I could say, I need you. So in history class, I'd be like, I need you to make sure they know blank, 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 blank. Or I can import a file from something that I already have or URL and create something. Now, if I put my URL of the Telltale Heart in here, it's going to create a PowerPoint presentation breaking down that story, which I guess I could do. I wish we had people like be like, tell me what you want to see. So we could try that and we could put that in and see what it does. When I did it last time, I did it on Poe. Like I did like who he was, a little bit about him. So let's do the generate. We do both.
We're not logged in here though, so I don't know if it's gonna work. Because you gotta log in.
Well, I don't know how to log in.
I know, that's why I said that.
Okay, so let's do this. Say, create a presentation on.
It's gonna make me log in.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's gonna make me log in.
Okay, well, you want to log in or create an account? This is Pop Pro AI. I don't think this is the right one.
Let me see. Oh,
because it's got the G's different.
Is this one?
I don't know. I can't see. I got new glasses. And everyone changes their stuff. No, go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. Keep going.
You're not on your computer. Let's just go on.
I'm not on my computer. Well, you got to do it. You have to show them. That's like one of the best ones. I thought it was the blue one, but maybe they got Pop Spool. You got to use coins. It's the one with the coins. I should have been up here and set up the computer myself.
Yeah.
But it could have been that one. I mean, that one looks like it is. I just don't know where the pop thing was throwing me off.
Does this look like it?
No, but they redo
it
every summer. So like I can't, but I want them to see it because you type it in and it creates these absolutely most amazing PowerPoint presentations. Like, but they're not PowerPoints. And then you can download them into PDFs and then you can throw them into Chat GPT and make guided notes. So like you got to log in. Like this is a big one.
Okay.
But their colors are like a different purple. That's why I'm really thrown. And you didn't let me have my computer, so I don't even have my computer open to like help you.
I don't even know what you use for us.
Okay. Just create an account, sweetheart.
Oh, okay.
Create an account. Log in. You don't have to be me. You can create any account you want. They don't need to see all my old ones. They're all in like Civil War and Abraham Lincoln and all that stuff. Okay. So you can say you're for education. Do that one, sure.
Just me.
Just me.
Okay.
Okay. So just you have to collect one. Just do that and do that one. And do that one. Now say continue. Because see, now they do other things. Done. Okay, great. This is what I thought it was. So you're going to do this one, paste in text, but you can't really paste. This is looking much more like it. Okay. So I want a presentation. I was going to say they do social and web pages and things, but say, something about like type me a presentation, create me a presentation with background on Edgar Allan Poe and information helpful when reading Telltale Heart.
Helpful when reading
the Telltale Heart, yep. And specifically setting mood and narrator reliability.
Oh, so you lost me. And specifically
setting mood and narrator reliability.
And reliability?
Narrator reliability. Okay. Now they call them cards instead of like slides. You can control it like card by card. And you have a lot of other features here of like how, but for right now, oh, I have to do one of them. Sure.
This one?
Yeah. Someone must have bought them out. They're getting pretty fancy over here. Okay, continue to prompt. All right. Wow. Amount of text. Too concise. Right. See how it says high school, early college, right? 7th grade. Output language, English. You could change it to a different language if you wanted. Visuals, go down. I mean, you can choose the theme. Just choose that one. I don't know. I don't like the green one. And then it's going to start with AI images. You go push generate. I always go back and change the images often if it's about like a real person, something like history. I was always changing the images. As you can see, I had 50 credits and this takes 10. So I could have done 5, I think, this month for free. And so here's my cards. They're going to start going through. And as you can go back up as it starts. I can see kind of where it's going. It's going to start with who was he. Now, each one of these you can click and you can edit inside of it. So if I want to change something out of it, I can totally edit any part of the card, the text, the image, and go down. Let's see what it gave me. 8 cards is usually roughly around what it gives.
It's still going.
Yeah, let's keep going. Legacy, Introductions, one of his most famous short stories. A Gothic Empire.
It's trying to get me to do this. Hold on.
Just click the arrows.
Yeah.
Giving him a tour. Who was he? Seeming like, look, orphaned, troubled life. Like these kinds of things are kind of important to understand the story. Can you go down and see what all the cards are? Okay, introduction, atmosphere, inside the mind of madness. What is an unreliable narrator? So this is even giving me like a little bit of start of like introducing to my students what that means. Reading between the lines and like how they're going to really have to infer what he's talking about because that's what makes it so hard. Now, power of guilt. I don't know if I really want to talk about power of guilt. So if I don't want to, I can edit all my cards. There's little dots. I can delete it out of here. Yeah, delete that one. I don't know if I want to do power of guilt. And then, oh, find the fear. Okay, let's just say these are the cards I want. I can come up here to that right corner, see if you can present. No, I'm at the arrow under present. I want to download it. So I have the ability to download and share. Maybe it's here. Yep, export. And you can embed this. You can do whatever you want with it. I always exported it to a PDF. Then I can link it to my Teams. So my students always have the presentation if they download it. If they weren't there or something like that, go to ChatGPT when it downloads. But then when I started doing, especially in history or science or places where there was like that like balance of I want you to take notes and pay attention, but I also like need you to have the right information. You're going to write a prompt asking chat to create guided notes for the attached file. Something pretty simple, like create guided notes for my 7th graders.
Guided notes from my 7th.
Off of my presentation or something like that. And so I lean to guided notes, especially when you also have students when you're thinking about accessibility who like need notes printed or need things like copies of notes already. This is also handy. And then take that PDF and just swing it into chat.
Yep.
And so
it's gotta make it an image.
Oh, mine doesn't.
Let me just log in. I didn't log in.
Oh, I was like, mine never did that. Mine's always a PDF. And so, oh, tell them your password.
No. Yeah.
This is why working off someone else's computer is hard. He was not about to connect my computer on our last session today.
Okay. 7th.
See, this is where you gotta be flexible and you can't look at things as failure. You'd be upset. All right. There you go.
Okay.
Agent, what's that?
What is it? What do you want me to do?
You just typed it. Create guided notes for the attached presentation. If you want, you can say it's for 7th grade language arts. Sometimes giving it. Now, see, I have a file in my chat all year that I use. So once I've given it the good prompt at the beginning, I can just swing things in and I don't have to do anything else with it.
It's not letting me add it.
Just try it one more time. That's a website problem. That's not a you problem.
Let me do it this way.
It's like it can't upload it.
What was that file called? It was Edgar Allan. Okay. There we go.
And what it should do is it create kind of like a outlined format from the presentation, and it should have holes. And so then I just take that, I drop it in a Word document, a Google Doc, whatever you do your thing. And I have a way for the students to kind of take notes, pay attention, and I have a hard copy. I could even go as further and say, okay, now give me this outline with no blanks in it. So I can use it as a master or use it for students, you know, who won't be in class that day or whatever, and it'll give me that version as well. So it's pretty fast. Now, we had a lot of tech difficulties, but if you were doing this yourself, it takes like 10 minutes. And so now I've had like a very direct kind of instruction form of thing. So let's say we do this. Let's say we read through the Telltale Heart. Let's say we listen to it. We've kind of done all the analysis. Let's do Snorkel. So now I'm kind of where I need my students to talk through something and do something with it. And I want to evaluate how they're understanding the types of things that we've worked on together. So if you haven't used Snorkel, do you want to give like a 30-second elevator pitch on what it is?
Yeah, it's basically just it's an interactive space where students can go on. They can use it as a place to add content, and then they can also voice over to record. And so, in addition to actually like building like visual content, they would explain it, and then AI is used to critique it according to the standards set forth by the educator. And then what it does is it provides feedback to coach the students to get to a higher level.
So I want to be able to analyze how my students are understanding, but I also want them to work independently. So let's start a new one, show people how this works.
So the first thing you're going to want to do is you want to make sure you create a class. We're not going to show you that. It's pretty easy to do, but you have to create a class. And then to create the actual activity, you're going to come over to assign activity and then create new. Now there are available options in the Snorkel library. So maybe if it's something like specific that, you know, a lot of teachers use, you might want to start there first. But from here, you can see there's different options that you can choose from. Let's just keep it at.
I want them to be able to type and talk. Can I do that?
Yes. So we can do that. So we're going to call it Edgar.
Telltale Heart.
I already started typing in there.
I know you didn't.
There. Okay. And then here. Okay. And then you can come in to add your question.
But wait, I've already written my questions.
But you've already written.
Yes, we've already written our questions. We can use those same questions that we got from Magic School.
Yes. So if you come back over, let's see, where's my Magic School tab?
I think it's right.
This one?
Here. Nope, it's right here.
Another one. Okay, sorry.
It's hidden under your share screen button.
Yeah, see, there we go. I got it. Okay. Which questions?
So can I do all of them?
Sure.
All right. So I would want, they have to be on one the same slide though, or can they be on separate? Like, is it one screen, one question, and that's it?
Yeah, so I think what she's asking is when she goes to add this in here, it's going to put all 5 questions. But remember, this is an infinite canvas. So the kids can have different sections that they can work with. So if I come over to add a question, then I can put the questions myself over here. Now there's a couple of questions, so I'm just going to paste them.
Yep, and maybe some space between them, or maybe even put them in different, different text boxes. I could have like different quadrants where they write. Basically, like, don't do what we're doing. Like,
we're just
doing it look a little nicer. But we want to show you what that would look like for the students, and then we'll tell it what we're grading it for.
Yeah, so like we're just trying to make it look a bit. Maybe this is like, you know, answer number 1, right? Or for number 1.
Or if you color coded it as you're reading, pink could go here. You could make it as detailed and specific as you want, or it could be less.
Right.
But this is kind of what it looks like as you're setting it up and what they'll see.
So then you say done editing. And then if you scroll down here, you can include additional instructions.
Yeah. So we might those instructions would appear on the top. So maybe something like, you know.
Well, they'll appear when they first log on. So, and those can be read aloud using the accessibility features that are in there. So you want to do it probably.
Yeah. Something like, it was like, you know, answer the following questions, showing, you know, what you've learned from our reading and discussion of the Telltale Heart or something, right? Or maybe you have more specific directions than I just spouted out just now.
Okay, got it. And then you can actually come in and generate the AI from the questions. I actually do that quite frequently. I know that there's no standard tied into this yet, but I like to see what the AI comes up with first and then add in the standard.
And you can edit with it. And here's the idea too. If you have like a rubric or something that your district is using tied specifically to whatever the task is, then you could go in manually and set it up. But we'll just use the AI too, so we can show you a little bit about what it is capable of doing if you aren't given some of those resources. Because that's something we see very often is what teachers are given to work with varies very much between district and states.
So you can see that identified it as high school. So obviously we're doing 7th grade, so we're going to want to edit that.
I like that.
What?
That thinks I'm teaching high schoolers. It means I'm teaching them hard stuff.
Oh, so you can go and you can edit any of this out, and then once you're comfortable with it all, you can even add standards into here. So like, for example, in the actual prompt in the question area, you might want to say, make sure to tie into this standard and give your specific standard. It'll be able to do that as well.
Yeah, I actually have a couple of standards tied in together in this.
Yeah.
Because I like how the criteria. So it's saying like, analyze how the old man's room is described. And so they aren't giving descriptions of his room and connecting that to the mood. It's going to keep coaching them. Maybe I want them to do also the police interview scene or something. I could go in and add.
Now you could have totally done this manually and you would have probably been more specific, but it would have taken more time. So that's why I say I like to use the AI to let it generate it for me and then just go in and change out.
We're also doing something that's pretty specific. It's like pretty well known. It's not something that I'm building from scratch that AI may not be able to pull as much from. Okay.
So I just edit it. I'm just going to confirm those changes now. And then when I'm finished, I can always try this as a student, which we highly recommend. Don't, especially when you're using AI, don't just throw the assignments out there. You want to make sure you try it first. So you can come over here to try it. Do you want to do this? Let me try it.
It's okay. I say
Okay.
assign it.
So you can click this and you can try the assignment as it is. And then you can test it out to make sure it's working the right way. And when you're ready, just click assign and you're going to give it this is why it's important to have the class. So you're going to assign the class. And
you could create one if you hadn't yet, but then
yes,
you know.
But one of the things that we love about Snorkel is the collaboration. You got to turn it on because it's not manually turned on. So this allows students to be able to see each other's responses. And if you toggle this on, they can actually comment back and forth.
And I love how it says students see their work after they submit. So they can't like go look at each other's work and then submit. They can only see it after they put in their own work. So I really like that.
Yeah. Now, one of the paid version of Snorkel allows students to have their own accounts. So if you have the premium version, then you have the ability to do that. However, with the free version, you don't have to have that. You can actually just toggle this guest logon. And what that does is it eliminates them from having to log on with their email address. Now, the benefit of having the email address is that it saves all their work and they can go back and have it again. The guest login, there's nothing is saved. It's just there within the actual board. So if I submitted some work on this particular assignment with the guest login, I would not be able to go back and get my work again. It would only be available up on this particular assignment.
So you need to like be able to be, it needs to be something you can do in a class period. It needs to be something
Correct.
you can do within a certain time.
Yeah.
Also, I love the schedule start date because sometimes I create things ahead of time and I can schedule it and set it to go and link it wherever it needs to be and forget about it. That's pretty cool. All right, assign it.
We'll say assign. All it does then is it creates this URL. You just share that URL with the students. And then when they click on that URL, depending on how you set it up, we set it up ours as guest login. We just type in our name.
Yeah, and during the lunch share, we kind of showed what Snorkel looks like, and the student will go in and they'll start talking and answering the questions. You give them the attempt, and then the AI will tell them what they did well and what they didn't really do well, and give them, like, for instance, I'm thinking of like the mood. Oh, you described the mood well, but go back and specifically look for details from the old man's bedroom to help you, right? And so it'll kind of coax them, and then I, as a teacher, will be able to see all of the students' responses, where they're landing, how they're doing as they're working. So I really like this as an idea. Do you think Brisk could make the Telltale Heart into a podcast?
Absolutely.
That'd be really cool. I know this is kind of in that same genre, but maybe after you read it, instead of text leveling it, you could do that.
Yeah, well, Brisk can text level too. So let me just show you that while we're there. So this is that PDF that Kristin had up earlier. If you have Brisk enabled, just click on it. I don't know why it just reloaded there. There we go. Oh, that's weird that it's doing that. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Let's try the website.
Here it is.
Yep. So
Find it.
we'll come over here, right? So if I wanted to come over here, let's see. I know it's on here somewhere. Did I miss it?
No, I don't.
Decodable text. No. Change level. Sorry, it's right there in the very first one.
Sorry, I was looking for podcasts.
Sorry. Oh, I thought we were changing this.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
So you could then change this to whatever level you want. Sorry. All right, let me show you the podcast then. All right, so to change this to a podcast, it's over in the create section. And if you scroll down, there it is right there. We're going to create an educational podcast about this page. You can edit this prompt too.
Yeah,
so
make it more specific, make it harder. I want it to be 7th grade.
Yep, you can tie in specific standards. Change in the length, and then we can make this 7th grade.
For my standards, I could go in and find the standards that I pulled from that learning objective about like setting and unreliable characters and that kind of stuff, so it knows.
Yeah, you got a couple options for limits there, for time limits, so we'll just give you that.
Let's try 4 to 5. Let's see, because it is long. Let's see what it does. If it takes out too much, you could make it. But I do Poe, I do Shakespeare. There's a lot of things that sometimes come in that are a little hard for the kids. And I think this is such a cool way. I mean, look at this. Welcome to our podcast. I'm Sophia, and we're diving into Edgar Allan Poe's most famous short story. Hi, everyone. This is the real thriller. Well, it's a great place to start. The narrator keeps insisting he's not mad, but his actions tell a different story. Like, it's going to go and analyze this story for the exact things that I was asking my students to look for. Now, where you put this in your lesson depends. But again, it can be listened to. They can read through it as a transcript. We can link it along with other things. But this is just a demonstration of how Brisk can be used, obviously, as a podcast. But there's exit tickets, there's all sorts of things. But I'm still working off of those same two documents that we started with. Everything we've done today is off of those same two documents and my learning goals, right? Now we only have about not very many minutes. The only other thing I'd love to show them is in our dessert assessment. We can't do all of the things that you could do as an assessment, but I would love to show them either Suno or the Adobe Podcast, how to create one. Those are two really cool websites that some people may not be aware of.
All right. So if we want to do, oh, sorry, we got to log into that. So if we want to do what?
I think I was like,
oh. If we wanted to log in to Adobe, you remember this is free for educators.
Express is free for everybody.
Yeah. So if you want to tell them while I try to get this.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get in. Just say click and see if
Nope.
it works. It'll work. So Adobe Podcast is free, and it's basically, it's not like Brisk, where Brisk made you the podcast and let you listen to it based on your content. Like that to me is more like presenting a material. Adobe Podcast is the students are creating podcasts, and it's like a nice happy medium between a high editing program where you gotta like clip and snip and drag, and then super easy, whereas you could edit by taking out just words that are messed up or things like that. So I could see having my students do some type of question around, and if I had more time, I'd probably show you how to go into chat and help me analyze how do I form a question for my students that I want them to demonstrate their understanding of, unreliable narrator setting through a podcast. What are some things they need to have in it? The AI would be able to help me generate exactly those checkpoints that my students would need, and then they can go into Adobe Podcast.
Yeah, so here's Adobe Podcast. Sorry, I was flipping around a little bit there, changing our accounts. But if you have an Adobe for Education account, this is completely free. And so once you've logged into your Adobe for Education account, you'll be able to get into Adobe Podcast. Just Google Adobe Podcast and you'll find it. But it's really straightforward. I mean, you can just get right into it by recording a podcast right here. And the thing I like about this is that you can be in an extremely noisy environment. It could be a classroom where every kid is trying to record a podcast, but there's built-in technology, and I'll just show you what that looks like, within the platform that actually eliminates the background noise. And so if I come over here to filters, I can turn on this enhance filter. And when I do, it's not going to work because we're recording right now, but if I turn this on, what that will do is it'll eliminate all the extra noise that's behind the scene. And so it'll just focus on me because I'm closest.
Yeah, and you can see there's very few buttons. There's not a lot. That's super overwhelming. You can edit, you can import, it automatically saves, and then you can export it outward to other places. This is just one example of like a performance task and a way that you could use the AI to kind of help you walk through this. You could have also created like a mood reel or a short like silent film in Canva or Adobe that the students have to do based on the short story. There's a lot that you could really go with. But to end our presentation, it's kind of like this idea of
we got time.
We got time?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought
what
I
are you
was
talking
running.
about?
I was like rushing because I thought we were okay, show them. I was like so worried because I had all these other things to show them. Okay, go.
What do you want me to do?
Well, you can show them what it looks like now.
Oh, okay. Well, this is I just picked like a template. This is what like the very first template when you get on looks like. So you can come in here and let's say that we actually have recorded this. Maybe I'm the green and she's the blue. You can come in and you can actually erase any mistakes that are there. So for example, if I wanted to take away like Adobe, right? If I click this, I can correct it. Maybe like the transcript might be wrong, or if I just need to delete that word, I can now take that word out and now that's deleted out of the podcast. And so it does a really good job of making sure that those ums and likes that kids probably are going to get nervous and say in that pause moment, it takes those out and eliminates.
I like the placeholders. So you can leave placeholders of what you want to record or like what you want to add in. So when you're talking about like planning through how this would work, I almost kind of want to go to chat and ask it to help me create something for the poem that we have time to show people how quickly and easily it could be done.
You can see that there's been some music that's been added here. There's music that's all available within the platform. Lots of different types of music that are available.
Genres.
If you come over to one of them, there's different versions. There's a longer version. There's usually a short version. If you add those, which I'll just do.
I'll let you do it here.
Yeah. So if I add it in, you can see that it adds it to the top here, but you can also use this as a background noise. And so if I come over here, I can fade it in, I can fade it out. I can also set it as the background. So that allows my voice to be at a higher volume than what the background music
It would be
is.
like spooky
So it's
music
like,
as you introduce to the
or if you're doing
podcast.
if you're
That'd
doing
be
Edgar
cool.
Allan Poe, yeah. Or if you're like, yeah, you know what, that doesn't really work there, we can just delete it right back out. So that's really fun to play with. You can also invite guests, right? Let's say, for example, that maybe your students are doing this for a homework
Or
project
working as a group.
or
Yeah, this could
working
be a
at
group
home.
project.
So you can come over here and invite guests, and then you have a link that you can share with them. They can both be working in real time, and then they have the availability to be able to log on at the same time. Sorry. Exporting is pretty easy. So if you come over here to export, you can share this as an MP3. There's other options for you too, just a WAV file too. You can also download the transcript, right? Maybe you want the transcript there. And when you download that as an MP3, what you can do is you can then share that out in other places like maybe like a Padlet wall or a Wakelet collaboration board. And so that way you have an opportunity to share that with a broader audience.
All right, can I go back to our doc too? I want to see because now I have now I'm not stressed that I don't have time. What if I wanted to create like a short film trailer or a mood trailer in Adobe or Canva? Where would you go?
Okay, so if you wanted to do that, well, speaking specifically about Edgar Allan Poe, we'll do it in Canva. So if I go over to Canva,
Okay.
and then if I'm going to go to a video, so let's just do a video. And normally the videos are in landscape, so we'll keep it at landscape. All right, so when I'm thinking about Edgar Allan Poe, what might I look for in the elements?
Well,
Or do text?
I was thinking maybe we should go here first
Oh,
because I'm so glad you did this. I don't mean this to be like insulting, but you did exactly what a kid would do. They would go in and be like, "What kind of pictures can I? We want to I need to give them content. I haven't given you a direction
well, I thought
yet."
you were going to use this.
Yeah, I am, but I'm going to use this. Well, this is what is this? No, this is your guided notes. This is your guided notes. So now let's go and tell chat. Let's tell chat. Um, After we finish reading, and I'm doing this on purpose. Like I don't have my prompts written out ahead of time because I think prompting, it's not dumb, but I don't think you have to like memorize all these special prompts to get chat to do what you want it to do. So I want to do this on purpose. So how about after we finish reading the short story and analyzing as a class,
Sorry, after we finish reading the short story as a class,
we are going to create a short film trailer. Let's see. Do I want to do it like a soundtrack or do I want it to be like an explanation?
let's do an explanation.
Do they pick songs or do they pick like moody like images? Like we got to figure out what we want to actually do on because a short movie is going to be images that move, right? So let's say something like I'm envisioning students choosing images or videos and having to write or explain in audio their choices with textual evidence. And then say, help me write a short set of directions and checklist. No. I don't want a script. I want what am I going to give my students when I say, go make a movie? Like that doesn't work. They got to know what they're doing. So help me write a short set of directions and checklist for my students for this project. Let's see what it comes up with. Let's see if it aligns. I might have to tell it, but it knows my standards up here. But let's see.
Okay.
We never got to this when we were at ISTE. We never got to the final projects. So I never got a chance to like play around with what I want to do. All right, so project short film trailer. You're now the director of a short film trailer. Your job is to capture the creepy mood, major themes. Now, if it were me, I'd take out creepy and just say mood, major themes, and key moments because I don't want to tell them it's creepy. That's part of doing it, right? Choose select images or video clips that match the tone. Take out dark, tense, and mysterious when you give it to the kids, right? Make them do it. Add audio, new narration, sound effects. I would take out the sound effects, right? When I give it to the students, I don't think I want to give them the idea of heartbeat, ticking, screams. I might want that as the teacher if a student gets stuck to say like, oh, maybe why don't you try a clock ticking or why don't you try a heartbeat? But why tell them ahead of time? Because they may actually come up with some really cool things like footsteps or things that I might not think. Explain your choices for each scene or clip. Write a short explanation of how it connects to the story. Use textual evidence. So in this case, let's have them do video and text. I could also have them do it on there. Your trailer should be 30 to 60 seconds long, like a real movie preview. I like that checklist. 3 to 5 visuals. This is a great start for me, right? And generally when I create a project for the very first time, and I've never done it with my students, it's hard to know exactly. It's always like the time after you do it, you learn exactly how it works. Pro tip, a good trailer doesn't give everything away. It leaves audience curious. I like the question they gave to them. So if it were me, I would probably copy this, put it in a Word document, take a few of the things out, and have it in a place like to give my students either on a like on a what like a class page or actually probably print it out. So now that we have this, now we could go into Canva and we know a little bit more of what we're looking for.
All right, so
what do you want to do? You don't know the
I
story.
don't know the story. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a story about a man who lives with an old man, and the old man drives him crazy, and he kills him. So how do we create a mood,
Something that's
a trailer?
Yeah, you chose
something that's
this.
appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking like a dark bedroom, like a dark house, like an empty house, or like a dark.
And
maybe dark. Like at night. Those look really happy. Like those look real estate.
like, what if you did something like this? What
sure.
if you?
I'm game.
Let's. Oh yeah. Well,
make it offset. Take the background out.
it's okay because watch. Let's just take the transparency down a little bit.
Okay.
Like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then on the next page, maybe we add some text.
Sure.
Right. Okay. So let's add a text box. What should it say?
I don't know. I was looking more of just how to help them create the project. I don't think they want to watch us actually build the whole project.
Well, you guys get the point. So
yeah, I mean, and there's AI. Show them where the AI is in here.
Okay, so they've moved this around a little bit. So if you come over to Elements, and if you go into the search, if you scroll down, you can find it. Hopefully it's still, they moved it again. So you can search for Magic Media.
Yeah,
through the
yours is
app,
here.
right? But I've already searched for it, so mine's going to appear down there.
You use it a lot. And so what Canva starts doing is the ones that you use over and over and over again, it starts to kind of populate them there.
Yeah, so you search for Magic Media, and it's right there. And then you have the availability to come in here and decide if you want an image, graphic, or video.
So do video.
The videos aren't great, though.
That's okay. Let's try it. Say like a abandoned empty house at night. Let's just see what it does. We didn't get our pictures. Our soft skills.
House at night.
No, an abandoned empty house.
Oh, sorry.
You're gonna give me real estate pictures. That's what I got.
Good?
Yeah, let's see. Why not? Grab your popcorn.
Yeah, it takes a while too, so I don't know if you.
Well, it's okay. Well, I think the whole purpose of this presentation was to show people where the AI is built in different things to help us create something, right? And so in this case, this is creating like my students are using it to create. The other thing you could do while it's generating, just because I'm curious to see what it does, is you could go a whole different route, right? So maybe you don't want to design a podcast, you don't want to design a video trailer, you want something that's more traditional. Class Companion is a really great website. Similar to Snorkel, I would say it's a little bit more advanced in terms of writing, where we could come up with, and they already have, I think, Poe inspired.
You're the only one
topics.
who Poe in here, so
I think they do. And class, we didn't even show it. Magic School, not Magic School. School AI has a chatbot. We could have to actually talked to Poe and asked him questions about certain things too. So there's a lot, like you can see when you do that main menu. I don't know, that's kind of cool.
It came out way better than I thought it would.
Yeah, I would totally take that over, not like your was bad, but right. So if you're gonna create a video on something like this, using the AI to kind of help you create those images is pretty cool. And the better that the students can prompt based on what they know and text evidence, the better it's gonna work. I think it's cool. I like it. But you could have also done School AI to talk to Poe, and you could do Class Companion where they have essays that are a lot more specific, that as your students are writing out their full essays, like Snorkel, it will respond back to them. I don't know if you want to show them or not.
Probably don't have enough time for that. Do you want to do Suno real quick? Show them.
Yeah, you could do Suno. That'd be fun. So you got Class Companion as essay, you've got the podcasting, you've got Canva video. There's lots of different ways students can demonstrate their learning. Suno makes music. So if you weren't with us for lunch, Suno allows you to create a song about something. So again, I would probably go back to chat and say, okay, I'd like my students to write a song, um, highlighting the setting, the whatever of the Telltale Heart. Help me create some criteria to help guide them as they go. It might even be smart enough to go into Suno and like know what you have to enter and tell chat like they're going to have to enter a title, blah 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 blah, and it would give you some good criteria.
Yeah, it's not, it's gonna make me sign in, and I'm not on my other computer, so I apologize. But like Kristin said, you just go enter the information, and then you've got 4, I think, generations though, so you got to be careful. You don't want to go in and generate one and then be like, oh no, I'm going to change it, because you're going to run out of generation. So you got to be really specific and at the forefront.
And so that's where Chat GPT would probably be nice to help the students like brainstorm our song. These are the things we want. Here's how my prompt should write, and do all of that ahead of time. And then they go into the platform. There are some age restrictions that with Suno too. So I would
not let the kids do it.
Yeah, it would be something where I would probably have my students write out what they wanted, like in a doc or something, and then I would sit with them and throw it, because that's how I've done. Like I have done one thing on Chat GPT with my 8th graders, creating political cartoons, but I did it. And so they had to create the content and the words, and then they sat with me and we designed it together. So depending on your class size and something like that is something, or you can do like a choice board. And if you have enough students doing different things, you probably wouldn't have every single, maybe you would, using that program that it would allow you to divvy your time. But hopefully through this craziness that we've shown you, you can see like we only touched on maybe 4 or 5 different platforms, but how each of them are designed to help make your unit building more efficient. And in no way did AI, in my opinion, like I had to know what I wanted to teach. I had to know where I wanted my students to go. I didn't let the AI tell me how to develop my lesson, but it did help simplify some of the things, to use some of these platforms more efficiently and quickly.
Yeah, and so I think that, and one thing to walk away from here is that you need to know that AI still needs that human touch. Our friend Manuel Herrera came up with that, and he's absolutely right. When you think about all the different types of generation that we did, everything needed the teacher, right? And so starting with the standard, you got to know what you want it to do. And I'd say the biggest takeaway for me is don't settle, right? Like keep pushing the AI. Don't just settle for the first thing that comes up and be like, that's good, right? No, like get specific with it and really hammer down, this is for this grade level, this is the standard, and help.
And if you tell it, would you please do it? It will still do it. You're polite. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you for sitting with us and exploring. I hope behind the scenes you were clicking away and maybe playing with some of these platforms. Maybe we've introduced a platform that you haven't used yet and that you can go and experiment with to see how it will work in your specific learning environment. But we do know that you also have some social media challenges to work on, and you also have a survey. So we want to make sure that we give you time to do those things before you jump into your next session.
Yeah. And thank you guys for bearing with us with some of those technical issues. We appreciate that.
Okay. It's flexibility over failure.
Like we said, this was the first time we've done this session live virtually before. Normally we just have people calling out and say like, do this. So
try this, or have questions.
So a little bit different.
Working blind's a little different.
We appreciate your flexibility with it. And like Kristin had said, hopefully you were able to walk away with some new ideas, maybe even a better understanding of how these platforms can work together. So